What's up, YouTube? It's Eric, a Lions fan. I appreciate you checking out this video. Today is going to be a 2017-2018 prediction video for the Michigan State Spartans. I'm going to go through here line by line for each game. Got them up here on a post-it note to know what my thoughts are. But there's one in here I think it's going to be probably I have down as a loss, and it very well may be a win. But we're going to go ahead and see how this all boils out. As you guys know, last year, Michigan State really didn't have a great year in the 2016-2017 year. They were 3-9. They didn't look very good. They had some quarterback issues. They also had people that really couldn't catch the ball. Kind of a rough year for Michigan State and D'Antonio. And as you all know, coming into the spring, winter spring, there was those allegations of sexual sexual misconduct by the Michigan State football players. They were formally charged, so D'Antonio had to kick them off the team, and deservedly so, because if they're charged, you don't kind of want that stigma going on with your program. But really, there was really nothing else he really could do. That's just my own personal opinion. Others may just say, you know what, if they've even had that kind of charge at all, you just kick them off the team and just let them go. But yeah, I think that part there was probably the best D'Antonio could do. But continuing on here, guys, I don't want to kind of just focus on that for this video. I believe Michigan State goes 7-5, and we're going to go through here maybe 8-4 depending on how it goes. And the one game is going to be the Notre Dame game, and I'll go into that here in just a little bit. So the first game they go into is to Bowling Green. I think that's a win. I think Michigan State just has the better players. I don't know where Bowling Green is in the MAC. And I didn't really write down anything other than it's a win. I just think Michigan State just has the better players here. They come out with a win. Very good team to play probably for Michigan State coming off the year that they just had. Getting some confidence coming into the college football season in their first game. The next one is Western Michigan. Now, as you guys all know, P.J. Fleck went to Minnesota. I think eventually Minnesota's going to do some great things, and I'll go ahead and, as we go down here, they actually do play Minnesota. Michigan State doesn't. We'll go on in a little bit more detail about that. But I think it's a transition year for Western Michigan with their new head coach. And their head coach for Western Michigan kind of escapes me right now. It's kind of a toss-up game to me, this one, because they came off a 13-1 season last year. 13-1, 13-2, 12-2, kind of right around there. They had a really good season for Western Michigan, and they went to a high bowl game, which I think they really should have won, really, but against Wisconsin, which I think they played them damn well, too. This one's a toss-up, guys. I have it down as a win, just because of the transition year for Western Michigan and their new head football coach. So that's a win. So they're 2-0 going into the Notre Dame game. And this one, to me, is another toss-up game for Michigan State. Those gold-domed helmets have an effect on any team that plays them. It doesn't matter if it's Michigan, Michigan State, who else? USC, Texas, Army, Navy, those kind of players. Whoever Notre Dame plays, those domed helmets have an effect on the other team. They kind of see that. They go, oh, my God, it's Notre Dame. They kind of think back to the history of how good Notre Dame was and how their national championship years were, or their national championship runs, even that. Knowing that, they're in the same boat as Michigan State is, and I kind of got it written down here. They have no quarterback. Well, not no quarterback. They really are kind of in a quarterback. Well, let's just say they don't have no quarterback. I'll just go ahead and say it. They really don't have a quarterback, or a quarterback that Notre Dame is really ready to try to throw him right in the fire here yet. I think it's Kaiser went to the NFL, and Zier, and you guys know back in my videos, I'm horrendous with names, how to pronounce them. He transferred to another school. It's a toss-up game, but I think it's a loss for Michigan State. I've been debating on this one for quite a while. I had a loss, and I kind of went back to a win, and I said, I just think those domed helmets have an effect, and that comes into play here for Michigan State. I think that's a loss for the Spartans. So they're 2-1 going into Iowa. Iowa seems to play us well. Play any team well in the Big Ten, really. It doesn't matter if it's Michigan State, Michigan, Wisconsin, Penn State, Rape University, which I call them Rape University. OSU, it doesn't really matter who the team is. They seem to play them well, no matter kind of where they're at in their within the college football season. I think that's another loss. Michigan's another loss because Spite's back. He didn't go on to the NFL. He decided to stay for his last year, which I think was a good decision for him. And Michigan kind of is in a retooling year. They have, to me, I think they have much better prospects than Michigan State does on their team. And I just think it's another loss for Michigan State. So they're going into a 3-game losing streak going into Minnesota. Now, as you guys know, their P.J. Fleck is the head coach of Minnesota. I think the Minnesota team, and I haven't read anything on here, it's just my own personal opinion, my own personal thoughts. I think Minnesota has bought into what P.J. Fleck is selling. Now, what that transitions into is they probably haven't gotten down the playbook or how the coaching style is just yet. They're only halfway through the college football season. I think it's probably going to take a full year for that to go into effect, maybe a year and a half for P.J. Fleck to get his system in. But I think the players buy in. It's just a matter of getting the plays down and knowing where people are at and that sort of thing. So I think this is a win for Michigan State, coming off a 3-game losing streak. The next one is Indiana. They remember last year. I think that's a motivating factor for this team. I think they come out with a W there. Northwestern, I think, is another W. I just think the players are just a tad bit better than what Northwestern has. Although Northwestern lately has been a better team. They haven't been the bargain basement team that they used to be in yesteryear. 5-6 years, almost going on 10 now. The team has really done a great job over there at Northwestern. I've been really impressed with what they've done over there. I think their head coach could probably transfer to a bigger school, to be honest, instead of just staying with Northwestern in the Big Ten. But he kind of wants to stay there. And I kind of like what that program has done. I just think Michigan State is here and Northwestern is right here. It's just probably a field goal difference in that win. So they're on a 3-game winning streak. Then they play what I call Rape University, Penn State. I think that is a loss for the Spartans. I think they're probably going to be competing for the Big Ten East. And it's just, I may think they may get drubbed in this game, along with the Ohio State game. They may get drubbed in both games, and their confidence level is going to take a hit here. So, but their last 2 games, with OSU, JT Barrett's coming back too. So that's a factor to come into here. I just think they get drubbed in those 2 games. Then they play Maryland, and then they play Rutgers. Maryland, last year they lost to. I think they remember that game. I think they'll get fired up for that game. They'll go to a win. And Rutgers is the worst team in the Big Ten, guys. They're just going to go in there, and they might roll them going into the last game to get their confidence level back up, going into a 2-game winning streak for the Spartans in their last game. So that brings them to 7-5. And I think their bowl prediction, and this is just me, their bowl prediction is going to be the Holiday Bowl, which is out in San Diego. If everything kind of plays out correctly, and maybe they may get a lesser bowl, they may get a better bowl, depending on how the record is, or where they kind of, what team, or what the bowls committee selects them to. Personally, I think it's the Holiday Bowl. I kind of think that if they get to the Holiday Bowl, and I don't think they probably are going to get any better than that. If they go to the Holiday Bowl, that's a big stepping stone for this team. They get to play out in San Diego. They get to do all the things out in San Diego that they do. It'll be a humongous jump for this team. Maybe it's probably less than even I'm giving it, but it's a big jump. I'm going to say it's a big recruiting tool to be like, hey, we're coming back. We're going to the Holiday. We just got back from the Holiday Bowl. Our team is going to be jumping up here. Now, depending on who they play then is going to be a factor of how well the recruiting's done. But it's a big thing. I mean, to go to the Holiday Bowl out in San Diego, that's a big thing for a team out there. I mean, you want to be out in the nice warm weather. I wish there was more bowl games up into the north to see how these southern teams would play up in the cold weather in an open stadium. So, because if you're going to go to the NFL, and a lot of these players have aspirations of going to the NFL. I kind of want to see how these teams do in colder weather, like Alabama, Louisiana State, or LSU, Texas, USC, Washington, what's another one? Florida State, Miami, all those teams get a bowl game to the north. I want to, or pick a team, any team from the north, and play them. I want to see how well they do in cold weather. Are they ready for cold weather? All the bowl games are down south, so when it's wintertime. I don't think the Detroit, the Motor City Bowl is a good one because it's a dome. I want to see them outside. Play one in Michigan Stadium. Have a bowl game in Michigan Stadium or Minnesota. Put them up in Minnesota. See how they do in towards 0-degree weather. But again, I'm kind of going off track here, guys, for a Michigan State prediction video. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about that. Guys, if this is anywhere near true to me, I think it's a great year for Michigan State. It's a building, a stepping stone. They very well could be 8-5 going into the next season, depending on who they play. 8-5, I think, is a great, it's a great record to build off of, to get more people in here to rebuild them, and hopefully to get them right back up there to that college playoff again, or hell, even just a great bowl, or going back to the Rose Bowl again. So, but I don't think the hiatus, that 30-year hiatus of going back to the Rose Bowl, or close to 30 years, it wasn't good for the Spartans. It just wasn't. But guys, let me know what you guys think of my prediction video. Do you guys think there's wins? Do you guys think there's losses? Do you guys think, Eric, you're a dumbass? You think you're way out in left field on this one? The Spartans are going to be the best team in the country, which I don't think will be. Or they're going to be the worst team in the country, which I don't think is that either. But guys, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And also do a like, subscribe as well. And as always, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I hope to see you guys again soon. Deuces, guys. Take care.